In this video, we'll continue the follow-up of the behavioral video with the technical interview. The purpose of these is to see if the potential employee I'm trying to hire has the ability not only to use correct syntaxes and code, but to test their problem-solving skills. So I have Minnie here again today. We are going to test him to see if he would pass the technical interview that I used to give at my company previously, where I was the tech lead. My name is Phil. I became a senior developer at the age of 30. If this video is of value to you, please share and like and comment your questions below as I read all of your comments.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Thank you for being here, Minnie. All right, let's get started. So let's just say, we set up a time. I sent you an email, and now we're joining on Zoom. Thank you for joining, Minnie. I know it was it's some weird times, but
Yes.
thank you for making the time. We really liked what we saw, or I really liked what I saw from your behavioral interview before. You learned how you knew how to deep dive on the async await problems and all that kind of stuff. And now today we'll do a little bit of a technical interview. So how have you been doing since last time? Have you been coding? Have you been?
So I'm really excited to be here. First of all, thank you for having me. I don't really have like a plan B. I just wanted to really wait and see if this would, if you guys would pick up the phone and call me because I really liked what I saw in this company and I felt like I would be a great asset to this company. So yeah, I've been coding. I have a few projects in the works now too as well.
No?
I'm excited to be here and I'm excited to show my skills. And yeah, let's get to it.
That's awesome. So wait, what kind of projects have you been working on?
I made a card game actually.
Okay.
It's kind of like a Magic the Gathering card game, and I added authentication to it. There's a really cool channel. It's a Left Field channel.
Oh,
I was able to look at the form validation upload
okay.
that they did recently, and
Okay.
I was able to use React Forms, right?
Oh, that's awesome. React Hook Form. That's a
React
very
Hook Form, yeah.
React Hook Form. That's a very good library to make it very simple to add validation.
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
went well.
Yeah.
I was able to like have a really good, sign in, log in, and
That's cool.
yeah, I think it's gonna. It's something new that I added to my toolkit, and I felt good about it. So
That's awesome. Form validation, login. Are you using Firebase for your authentication systems?
yes, Firebase, yes. So that
Okay.
same somehow, I didn't have to look anywhere else. That YouTube channel had that already in store.
Awesome.
I just had to flip through it, and yeah, just attended a free class there. It was good.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. So we'll just get started. I sent you a live share link.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and could you share your screen, please, so we can kind of go through it?
I believe it's this one.
All right. So complete the method which returns a number which is the most frequent occurrence. So in the given input array, and if there's a tie for the most frequent number, return the larger number or largest number. So just to note, there's always going to be an array that comes in, and no empty arrays will be given to you. So I have three tests here. If you see, it's 12, 10, 8, 12, 7, 6, 4, 10, 12, and 12 occurs three times, so you'd return 12 because it's the highest occurring.
Right.
The next one is a little bit trickier. It's 12, 10, 8, 12, 7, 6, 4, 10, 12, 10. So you can see as 12 occurs three times and 10 occurs three times, and you have to return the higher frequency one. There are two tests inside of the highest rank test.js file. Can you open that one up?
This one, right?
Yeah. So, no.
Test file, test file.
The
Oh,
test
this one.
file.
Okay.
So these are the tests that are inside. Simple test is just the highest occurrence. It should be 12, and the next one should also be 12. So let's get started, Minnie. In this coding test kind of thing, when you are given a coding test,
Right.
so this is a break from like the interview.
Right.
It's very important to communicate the steps that you're gonna do for solving the algorithm, right?
Right.
Like during the job, like syntax and all that kind of stuff, there are gonna be much better programmers or like whizzes or whatever that can solve a problem very easily if you explain to them exactly how you need it done, if that is what you need, right? But like a company or whatever is trying to be a well-oiled machine, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to be another cog in there, I guess, and you need to know how to communicate and break down a problem to really solve a problem. So more so than running the code or anything like that, it's about breaking it down to step 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on to kind of get the output that you need. So let's first, always have a plan and then code it the way you planned it. And then if you have a change in there, go back and change it in your description of how you're going to do it. That's exactly how you should be doing it. All right.
Awesome.
So yeah, let's get started.
I'll just I will write down the steps and then code along each of the steps as I go. If we look here, we're given an array and and we're supposed to find the highest frequency number. And if there's two numbers that occur the same amount of times, then you choose the higher one, is what I got from this. So to start this, we need like a counter just to, reiterate the problem. Basically, you're giving an array and then trying to find the number with the highest frequency. If there's two numbers with a tie, then you have to pick the higher number. So to do that, I need a counter first. So I'm going to create an object. So create an object called num counter, and then inside this object, the key is going to be the number.
Okay.
So number would be like 12, 10, 8, or whatever. And then the value would be the count. And as I loop through the array, what I want to do is as you loop through the array, through the given array. So as you loop through the given array, update count, or if a unique number is found, create a new key value pair. So I'm gonna try to code that first and then move along to the next step.
Okay.
So yep. So
Well, you're gonna create an object called num counter,
yes.
and you're gonna loop through, and then if that key is inside of the object, you're going to add by one,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yes. So array, I think I could use for each loop here. So for each number, what I want to do is I want to create a key called num, and then it's going to have a value of either, if it's new, then it would be 1. If it's not, then you would add 1 to the current one. So it would be first you have to see if the value exists, or you assign it 0 and then you add 1. So I think this will work in looping through the array and finding all the this essentially will keep track of how many times each number occurred in the array. So yeah, I'll just put it here. This is like counting the frequency of each number in the array, each unique number in the array.
Okay.
Right. Yep. Okay. So then we now have an object full of numbers and the number of times it's been counted. And what we need to do is loop through that object and find which one was the highest in terms of count frequency. So to do that, I'm actually going to create a new variable called, the naming is very tough for me, to be honest, but I'm going to try to do it in the best understanding, readable manner. Let's just call it highest frequency. So create a variable called highest frequency. Yep. So I'll create that, let highest frequency, and it will start at 0 because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the for in loop to loop through the object that I created here. And it's going to loop through the key with the for in loop. And therefore I can compare its values at every iteration of the loop. So I'm going to loop through num counter with for in loop and update highest frequency if num counter num is greater than highest frequency. So then what that would look like in code is for num in num counter compare, right? So if highest frequency is less than, or I can say, oh yeah, I'll just do this. Like I said in the pseudocode, num counter num is greater than highest frequency, then highest frequency equal to num counter. So now I can find the highest frequency number, how many times it occurred the highest. And I also need a variable to keep track of what that number was. And if it duplicates, then I need another check for that as well. So I'll just do it. I guess this will be actually 5, and I need to create a variable called, so this one is a variable to keep track of number of times a number occurred, highest number of times a number occurred. And then this one would be highest number with highest frequency. So this naming is a little bit weird, but that's the best I can come up with now. So this keep track of the num with the highest frequency. And I will update this variable if, as I'm looping through, you find a higher number with the same frequency. So I'll just write it here. If number is greater than frequency, and then also if highest num with highest frequency is, or actually I'll just do the same way. If that num is greater than the highest num with highest frequency, then highest num, typing this is tough. So I'm just gonna actually change the name to result or something, because that's what we're gonna return anyways. So I'll just do this. So if result is, or if num is greater than result, then result is num. And then that's what we're returning at the end. So here, let's create the result. Let result, it will start at 0 for the comparison. And then at the same check here, I guess I'll do another if statement inside. What's whatever. Oh yeah. If num is greater than result, then result equals num. This will work. And
Okay.
then at the end, you return result. I think that should work. Yeah.
This is very interesting. I like it. But I think just one. I think you need initializer on line 30. I think it has to be const num or let num.
Oh,
And
right
so,
here. Yes.
and
Right
then
here.
I think
Yeah.
just to be safe, I think the code will work. But
Right.
just to be safe, when a key comes off of an object, it's a string. So you should probably
Oh, yeah.
test it to a number.
Number like this.
Yeah, just to be safe. You know what I mean?
Yes. You're right.
And yeah, it looks good to me. I mean, so first you have a num counter, and then you have the for each to get the count. Then you have two trackers for the highest frequency and let result. Can you just take me through one iteration very fast?
Sure. Let's just take this, for example.
Okay.
I'm just going to copy it down here for viewing purposes. So let's say this was the array that we're working with, right?
Mhm.
And so what happens is for each, right? So it will go through each number and it
Okay.
finds a 12. So the key of 12 will be made here.
Okay.
And then because it's a new number that isn't found in the num counter as a key, then it will add +1. So now basically what that would look like would be like 12 like this and then 1, something like that, right? And then it will
Right.
go through all of this, the whole thing array. So 10, same thing, 1, 8, 1, and then it'll find 12 again. And since it exists, then now the current num counter of num is 1, so it'll be 1 + 1, it'll become 2. Right. And then it'll go through the motion again. If it finds another 12, then it'll be 3. Right. So it's basically essentially a counter that goes up by 1 each time you find the same number, right, in the array. Right. So now you have that object made and it will look like 12, 3, 10, 2, 8, 1, 7, 1, 6, 1, 4, 1. Right. It'll be like key value pair like that. And then now you use the for in loop to loop through the key of this array. So now you're looping through the object, which I'll just put it down. Actually, it's not hard to type, so it'll look like this. There's 3 of them, and then there's 2 10s, and then there's the rest is like just one number, right? And then a 7. Just for visual purposes, I think it would be best for me to just type this out. 6 and then 4, right? So this is what the object currently looks like, right? And then it's going to loop through this key, and then I can take the value of these keys and then compare it with the highest frequency. So because 3 is higher than 0 in the beginning, then now the highest frequency becomes 3. And then also checks like, oh, was this number the key, like number of the key, so it becomes a number instead of a string? Was that greater than currently 0? Then okay, it's 3. So the result now is 3 currently.
Okay.
Now it goes again, 10. It fails the check here already, right? Because 2 is less than 3, so it just skips over 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then because the result is 12 at the end of the for in loop, then the result becomes it returns a 12. But let's say if this was 3, or let's say like 4 was found like 3 times as well, then what happens is it checks to see if current number of num or current result, which would be 12, is this less than 4 here?
Okay.
No, it's not. So the result would not update, and the result will still be 12. It would return 12 as well.
Okay, what if 4 was 13 here?
13, then basically it would update this part here. That is a check that we haven't looked at actually. Then I need to do all of this in one if statement, I believe. I need to do this. Okay, all right, you're right. That would break this because the result's not updated then.
Yes.
Right. Okay. All right. So then we just comment this out. I have to do the check here. If it was 13, we would have to do this. And result is, so if it's the highest, if num counter, if it is the highest, okay, 13, it's higher than the frequency 3, then it needs to update the result. Yeah. Or I think, or num is higher than, or result is greater. Hold up. So I'll just do it like this, and then this might not be the most ideal, but here, I'll do it. Number is greater than result, or yeah, highest count was greater than, or not high, put this in here, I think, actually. I think this will work. I think. I'm not sure.
Okay, let's just take it through. So right now, highest frequency, let's just say is 12. I mean 3, and
3.
result is 12, right?
Yeah.
All right. So can we just let's just pseudocode this real quick.
Yeah.
And then now on line 41, the number counter at num that the value comes in at 13, it's higher than frequency, it's higher than 3, right?
Mhm.
It came in here again. And then now if number num, so that's 4 is higher than result, that's untrue. But then it's the num counter 13 is bigger than highest frequency after you've reassigned highest frequency, right?
See,
I think this is okay.
it's not clean, but
Well, I'm glad because I'm trying to navigate through. So it just feels like it bypasses, right?
yeah.
Right now, and then highest frequency gets to 3, and then it becomes highest frequency becomes 13, and result becomes the new one, right? So only way it could pass this is the highest frequency is bigger. Okay, I think that's good.
Or can I do equals as well, just to make it?
No, I don't think
No,
that's
right?
yeah.
Oh yeah, it has to be like this. Okay, yeah. I think this is fine. Wait, but if I do this, right?
Yeah.
Then I don't think I need this line at all. Like, can I just do this?
Okay, let's think about this. Okay, right now, let's say highest frequency is 12. Highest frequency is 3,
Yeah.
and result is 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to the iteration where the num comes in and it's 4 and the highest frequency is 13, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we go to the first check is num. So num 4, is it bigger than result?
No.
No. All right. But is num counter at num 13 bigger than highest frequency? Yes. Now highest frequency gets equal to 13, result gets equal to 13. But then
It all becomes 4.
here, then at this point, right? What if 14 comes in and it's at 13 as well?
Like after 4? Like,
Yeah, after 4. Let's just say.
okay, so like 14 here becomes like 13, right? Here, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just go through that part real quick. So num is currently, or result is currently 4, and highest frequency is 13.
Yeah.
So number 14 is greater than 4, it just bypasses automatically. And then the highest frequency is still 13, and then the result would be
All right.
14.
All right. What if we put 14 at 11? Let's just say.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. That doesn't work. Yeah. So, okay. I need one more condition to make sure that both are right. Okay. I think it's here. I need another condition here. So so I think this num is 14. This is fine. I think this is the most important check. This part.
Mhm.
This part is the most important. So I leave this alone. I need to modify this part. Because if this is highest, then it just should automatically update this part. This stays the same. This has to have like an and of something, some sort, to make it limited. So if and num counter num is greater than the highest frequency, I think this will work.
That is exactly your or condition, no?
Yeah, it is. It is. Oh, if it's equal, right? Because if it's already higher, then it doesn't matter. But if it's the same, then it should. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think this is correct.
Okay, let's take me through it. Right now it's 12 and 3, right? Let's just say it's 12 and 3.
Yes.
All right.
So it's 12 and 3, and then it runs into this 4 and 13, right?
Right. So 4, okay, right now number is 4, and result is 13. Result right now is 12.
Yeah.
So this automatically becomes false, right?
Yeah, this is false, but this is true, so it
This
updates.
one passes in, right?
Yes.
And then now highest frequency equals number num counter num,
Yeah.
and result equals number.
So now it's 4 and 13 right now because this passed. This was false, but this passed, so it becomes like that.
Okay.
And then 14 and 11. So this is false, but here because yes, the new number is greater than 4.
Yes.
But because the num counter does not equal to the highest frequency,
Mhm.
then it doesn't pass, so it doesn't update. But now here, 14 and 13, because the highest frequency is same as the value of this number that we're currently on, 13, this passes.
Okay. I see what you're trying to do. I think it works.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
Let's go. Okay, very good job, Minnie.
Thank you.
How I would kind of optimize your code a little bit, right?
Mhm.
Or how I would do it.
Yes.
Right? So here, just go through your steps here. I'm just gonna Command Z to where you were, right? I would say, write some comments here. Be an array, numbers, returns, number, larger, highest, recurrence. All right. And I just put like number 1,
Mhm.
it counts of elements in array. 2, I would then use object.values and use math.max to get highest number.
Mm.
And then 3, I would probably use filter to get those values. And then 4, if 1 length after filter, return that key. If else, I would extract keys and run math.max again. And I think this is how I would do it, but I feel like yours is very performant to
Okay.
a certain degree, right? Like,
Yeah.
but this is what makes sense in my mind. So
I
I'll
see.
just I'll code this out really fast. I'm gonna take the accumulator and current
Mhm.
and do what you did. That's very clever. And I'm gonna plus one. So basically at this point we have the count, right?
Yeah.
And then we have the nums count. And then on here, I would say object dot values on the nums count, and I'd spread that into a math.max like this, and const max equals like this. And then I would want to do a filter. So maybe object dot entries on the nums count and dot filter. And now it's iterable, right? Because now it turns into a key value
Hmm.
array, like a so now I can do key and value. Whoops. I can do key and value,
Hmm.
destructure that, and then I can take that one and then I can say val equals max. And then at this point, const filtered. And I think from here I can do if filtered dot length equals one. Then I can just return the filter key, right?
Yeah.
As zero, right?
Mm.
And then if it doesn't hit there, then I can just get I can get the keys now, right? And then now I can just do something like filtered dot map f, and then the f I bring back zero.
Mm.
That's the key, and then I can run return math dot max on these guys, and I think that would return that would be done.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. There's a lot of advanced techniques, dude.
But there's a lot of
Yeah.
there's a lot of loops in here, so that's why I said your version
Yeah.
more performant, but I think this is pretty it reads well to the eye.
Right. I understand.
So I can make it a little bit better, but
Yeah. I get it.
I run into this problem a lot in code everyday like life. So I think that like doing an algorithm or something like this to get the counts is very important, right?
Right. Right.
Being able to work with it. But I think using Math Max here was pretty good.
Hmm.
Thank you for taking the test, Minnie. I was very impressed with your problem solving skills. And I think your skills really good for trying to break down the problem, and maybe there's just some syntax and holes in your knowledge that
Right.
I can definitely see you being an integral part to our company, and I know you can learn a lot here as well.
Thank you.
So
So,
the next one will be a culture fit interview.
hmm.
I see you there in the next one, and I'll send you a Zoom link and some times that it's going to be available.
Awesome.
And I'll send you a response to see if you do pass on to that next round in the next couple days.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun actually. Haven't done an algorithm in a while, but and thank you also for showing me like new tools that I could work with. I appreciate that.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's I'll see you next time then for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I can do it, you can do it too. Coding saves
Saves
lives.
lives.